May the fallen rest easy in the Hall of Echoes. Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the best, really. Meister Siva's there too. My leader. Our leader. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. She'll reveal them to you. Show you how to manipulate them. I won't let the Fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallas, no better than Alexander, if I just tossed their remains into the sea. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. All this blood. Children ripped from families. Seekers ripped from me. He's down there now, guarded like some precious jewel, rather than leashed and flogged like the dog he is. Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. That was before we found the others. Other Godwoken. When Lucian died, we waited, and waited some more. Alexander never rose to divinity. Then we started to find more like him. We weren't the only ones who noticed either. Not every Godwoken we found was alive, and so the Seekers were born. We found Godwoken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. I was naive. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead. She's not, well, not in the strictest sense. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siva says, and I don't doubt it. I don't know how Siva came to know her, but Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
Keep Lucian close, Godwoken.
You made it, Godwoken. Good. Not all of us did, though. The sooner we leave this island behind us, the better.
Our survival hinges on getting this ship moving, Godwoken. We are searching every corner of it for anything that might help us. Nothing here.
Ah, there you are. High time to stop gallivanting and resume our journey together, wouldn't you say?
There you are. I was just thinking of you. This is Dallas's ship, but she can't have been the only one who could get it moving. It'd be too risky, and Dallas is anything but careless. There's a way to move this ship on board, I'm sure of it. The figurehead has certainly caused a commotion lately. But then again, so have the doors downstairs. Everywhere you look, a hunk of wood looking to incinerate or stymie you. You'd be surprised. A ship like this holds many secrets. Hopefully you can discover some these Seekers might have missed. Please don't go.
We have to find a way to get this ship moving. We can't let the Magisters catch up with us. We're too weak to fight them again. What am I even looking for? Will I know it when I see it?
The silent monk leans forward slightly and stares at you straight in the eyes. She seems eager for you to say something. The silent monk leans from one foot to the other. He seems eager to move.
I was just getting used to this seafaring life. You know, we could... From the look in your eye, I gather it's time to grab my things and get back to work. Ready? We'd probably get tired of this view soon enough anyway.
How you doing? You creatures with your legs and arms and your opposable thumbs. You always want to steer the ship. You need to trust the ship. It knows what it's doing. It dances to the tune. It goes... la 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 la... or something like that. It's pretty catchy, but I can't remember how it goes. Good thing Dad has had that book, eh? Oh, she opened it and looked at the marks on the inside. How the hell else? All right, all right. Go to the nose bit of the ship, open the book, look at the markings inside it, sing the song. That's it. Get it right and the ship will dance to your tune. Get it wrong and the ship will kill you. That's always entertaining. For me, anyway.
There must be something around here.
Let's team up, you and me. What do you say? Suit yourself then.
He drags a comb through his beard. His face bears the scars of a hearty life, but his whiskers glisten as if glazed by the morning dew.
I must say, you may not be an eternal, but you are certainly not as temporary as many of your fellows. You handled yourself well. Personally, I am just glad that I do not have to walk back to Reaper's Coast. Wind travel may be primitive, but it is at least efficient. Livewood, you have taken a dead elf and carved it into a pleasure yacht? I knew you people were barbarians. I had no idea you were sadists, too. Well, no matter. Whatever gets me to Reaper's Coast quickly. I have an excavation site to explore. The only treasure worth digging for. Knowledge. I was investigating a site where several artifacts of my people have been found. Some were even intact. Alas, I was not the only one there. Those red-robed idiots were scurrying about too, trampling precious clues under their ignorant boots. They caught me when I failed to correctly respond to their questions, and dragged me here. Still, it's good to be on the move again. Well, you see, I have a rather pressing engagement at the Black...
The skeleton breaks off mid-sentence as he notices your hand. He pulls out a notebook, flicking through it, running a finger down the pages.
Physical contact, voice lowered, coy looks. Good heavens. Is this a mating ritual? Why, that would be excellent! I have been curious about this for some time. The social interactions, the expectations, the mechanics. Come now, let's begin immediately. I shall compile my notes afterwards.
Fane grabs your hand and enthusiastically pulls you behind the screen.
Well, that was most unusual. I mean, I had read all the leading authorities on it, but I didn't think... It's just... that thing you did with your tongue, it was quite unexpected. A team? What an interesting prospect. You certainly seemed capable in Fort Joy, and a companion on Reaper's Coast could be quite educational. Very well. I am open to this. I believe you normally spit on your palms to seal agreements, but I seem to lack the fluid and the desire to touch you. I hope a hearty verbal agreement will suffice. Very well. Let's be off.
Melody says if we can get the ship to move, we can go home. Home!
All that fighting will be worth less than nothing if we can't get this tub moving.
There's something to these doors I'm not seeing. But what?
Hey! You're here! Pretty nice boat, eh? We got an upgrade. There's got to be another way to get it going, but we can't find a way into Dallas's room. Maybe you can see something we can't.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice it's unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. For a moment, you swear a face appears in the wood. A face tortured and tormented, a six-sided shape carved upon its forehead. The face vanishes. The thud of your fist upon the wood resonates deeper than you'd expected it to. It turns into what sounds like a moan, then echoes away into silence. The door remains closed. The door remains unmarked. The door remains closed. It seems you need more than a password to open it.
Speak to me if you're looking for hired help. I've got good fighters of every stripe. They know how to keep their mouths shut too, as long as there's gold in it for them. So, what'll it be?
We've braved the joy, and I lust for further adventure. What say you? Shall we continue our journey together?
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any sort of proximity, but at least she's on your side. For the moment.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance.
You keep saying that. It won't
What's this? I found something.
A young woman shifts her weight between her feet as though swaying her hips to an imaginary beat. She rubs her forehead, her face tight with concern. Her eyes roll up to meet yours, their great black pupils greater and blacker than seem natural, expanding further as they take you in. She smiles, and the worry melts from her face.
Hey, it's you! Well, 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 we meet again. They told me you'd mosey your way down here eventually. Malady, the Seekers, they said you and I had something in common. That we're... well, we're... Is it true? You're like me? Well, kind of. You know about my, situation, right? Right. Well, I'm a host. Always have been, probably always will be. I'm never alone in my head. Spirits visit, wanderers, sprites, demons, ghouls, disembodied mystics. You name it, I've chatted with it behind my own 2 eyes. I'm only hosting one right now, though, and it's a real piece of work. Malady said I should have met one of the gods when I had my vision in the Hall of Echoes, but I didn't. I met it.
I ought to chain you up like your lot did to me.
I know. It's really... special. I don't know what this thing is, but I'm gonna get it the hell out of my head and make it sorry it ever came knocking. What's your deal?
Being behind bars suits you, murdering scum.
I'm impressed, Chief. Sounds like no small feat. You know, I never was much of a solo artist. Want to find out what comes next, you know, together? Sure, whatever suits you. Probably better for you in the end anyway. I'm not always myself, and sometimes not myself is a bit, unpredictable. Anyway, see you around.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance.
The Seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you draw near.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the bloody Divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints are paying the price. We're a big bloody target on our backs. We took their leader and their flagship. The Hammer won't stand for that. She'll be hunting for us.
The Seeker throws a toxic look at the imprisoned Magister.
Hardly. She's just some deckhand. If it were up to me, I'd tie her to the main mast and use her for arrow practice. But Malady wants her alive for now. No, they had her stand below, chained up in the dark. But the Reds were up to something in here. Maybe it was just the lack of food and rest playing tricks, but I swear I heard chanting and horrible moaning coming from here. But when we broke free, it was empty. Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold, and the other one ain't in much of a talking mood. All right then, just don't make me regret it. Hope you find something useful.
A young Magister paces around the brig, fussing over Alexander's unconscious form. She leans over and applies a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot, so stow your questions. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
The Magister falls silent, but stares at you with unwavering defiance. The Magister's stare hardens into an intense scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. Magister Ranley, Corker's